Howdy, old Bubba here. I need to talk to you about a few things today, so give me a few minutes of your time. I believe it'll be things that you'll need the rest of your life. Somebody asked, how did we get in this mess where everybody's running around talking about the school buildings being falling down and in terrible shape and the poor little children not being able to get a good education and all these kinds of things. How'd that get started? Well, I got the answer for you. This is how it just about always gets started. You got government bureaucrats and politicians that get together and they say, we need some more money. And then they reach over on their desk and they got this little book. I think it's called the secret book. And they open it up, and there on the first page in big red letters is the word crisis. Crisis. And so they just go around and start hollering, crisis. We got a crisis in education. The buildings are falling. It's a crisis. And then they turn over to page 2, and it says, just keep repeating, we've got to do something. We've got to do something. We just got to do something. Listen to old Bubba now. That's a lie. That's all it is. It's a lie. We don't have to do something if we don't want to. We might choose to, but if we don't want to, we don't have to. So quit threatening us by saying we have to. We don't. But then ask that person this question. Is that something that you're talking about doing? Does it have anything to do with money coming out of my pocket and going into your pocket and other people like you? Is that it? If it is, you could just get on down the road. Well, they never give up. They keep saying, we've got to do something, so I'm finally going to give them something to do. Now listen to this. This is what we need to tell them to do. Since y'all been in charge of this mess for all these years, and we give you all this money over time, I mean millions and millions of dollars, every one of y'all in the leadership, I'm not talking about teachers now, I'm talking about these bureaucrats, every one of you ought to be fired. We need to hire somebody. We need to hire somebody. We got all these people that have all these degrees in education and all this stuff. We need to hire somebody that's read Dave Ramsey's book, Debt Free. Yeah, that's what we need. You see, you don't ever hear a politician say, here's a problem we've got. It's a big problem, and we're going to solve it without taking any more of your money. Have you ever heard that? I don't think so. So we need to find somebody that will work within the limits of what we can afford, not what they think we can afford. So that's the change, that's the something they can do if it really has to be done. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is some of the board members had a little meeting. They call it a press conference. I don't know if it was legal the way they done it or not. We'll find out. But I noticed that they had this little table there in front of them, and it had a little green tablecloth on it. But the thing I noticed about it, it looked like the tablecloth went all the way to the floor, and I wondered. And I know maybe this is being a little too suspicious, but not with this bunch. I wondered what they hiding under there. What kind of secret is it that they have? Well, it pays to be suspicious when you're dealing with suspicious people. The last thing I want to tell you, this is real important. It's a question for life. What to do when you don't know what to do? What are you to do when you don't know what to do? Now, we all have situations in life like that, and that's where this something, let's do something, comes in. We'll just hold on a minute. Let me explain this. Suppose there's a couple of guys down in Florida, and they're messing around with the alligators, and one of them kind of playing with him. When he has his mouth open, he'll stick his hand in there. And he sticks his hand in there, and bam, the alligator eats off half his hand. Now, he's got a problem, doesn't he? And maybe he doesn't know exactly what to do. here's the key. You know, we don't have to know what to do all the time to know what not to do. Now, suppose that feller said, well, that didn't work out too well. I'm going to try my left hand. And so he puts it in there and he bites it off. And he says, oh, that wasn't good either. I'll put my foot in there. And that happens too. Some people never learn, do they? Now, here's my question for you. The school boards of this county and across the state have for years and years been the alligator with their mouth open. And they keep saying, give me more. Now, they reach in there and bite you one time. You ought to figure it out. But sadly, a lot of people still hadn't figured it out. So I'm counting you as being among the people smart enough to know, even though you don't know everything to do about it because you got bit. You know one thing, and that's don't do it again. So I say on September the 5th, we've been bitten by enough of these bureaucratic alligators. Say no to them, no more, and vote no. Stand with old Bubba on September the 5th. I thank you.